confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
Y'all black females out here, y'all don't understand the struggles of being a black man out here in America and not knowing whether or not you gonna make it home to your children every night because of the police gunning you down.
But don't y'all be out here gunning each other down?
Okay, but we ain't talking about that.
Well, don't y'all be rapping about killing each other in music?
We ain't talking about that either. We can talk about killing each other in rap music, but we don't like the police killing us. Stay on subject, woman.
You brought up your kids. Tyrone, you don't even see your kids.
And then, yeah, I be trying to see my kids. You know my baby mamas be tripping because I don't want to be with none of them, so they be holding my kids from me. You know that.
Okay, but your baby mama saying you don't get them no child support either.
Okay, but I still be going out my way to try to see them.
They live 5 minutes from my house, Tyrone.
That is out my way, woman. See, y'all, that's why we don't like y'all black women's mouths. Y'all run y'all mouth too much. Y'all always bringing up stuff that's irrelevant.
Well, was you cheating on me irrelevant?
I only cheated on you 10 times. You act like I do it every day, bruh. See, that's why we date women of other races, man.
Hey, boos, hey. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Woman Exodus. How are y'all doing? And like always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Please share. Please comment in the comment section. Say what's up to me in the chat. Let me know that you all are listening. Also, when you have a moment, please do me a favor and follow my backup channel. It is called LexX. That is LEXEX. And you'll also see the link in the description below. Also, when you have a moment, please follow me on all my socials. You can find me at Lexus Exodus everywhere. That includes Facebook and Instagram. Also on TikTok, even though they tried to cancel your girl, I'm back. So please take a second and follow me on my social media platforms. I'd love to see you guys over there. This is another installment of my series called the Blackistan Zoo, where we profile the dusty derelicts, crazy creatures and animals in Blackistan. Guys, I had to make a surprise emergency appearance here on YouTube tonight because Rihanna just confirmed that she's pregnant, y'all. I can't. And she's preggers by Dusty struggle rapper A$AP Rocky. So y'all know I had to come on here on YouTube and do an emergency special edition of the Blackistan Zoo because the city girls are down bad, y'all. Man, moment of silence for Rihanna. Just confirmed she was pregnant by a Dusty. So tonight we're going to talk about Struggle Love Bird Rihanna. And we've talked about struggle love birds before and how they regularly enter into these very toxic relationships with Dusties. They are stupid. They enjoy engaging in the same behavior over and over again with the same Dusties, thinking one day that she'll magically get different results. So your struggle love maiden, your struggle love bird will mess with Dusties who don't value commitment or relationships or their families or the familial unit. So she's oftentimes pumped and dumped, cheated on. These couples are always fussing and fighting. She'll oftentimes get beaten on and abused like Rihanna, and she's oftentimes just taken advantage of until the fool finds his next mark. So tonight we are going to look at Rihanna, who falls in this category as well. And she is a freaking media mogul and a billionaire who just confirmed that she's been impregnated by dusty rapper A$AP Rocky. And my loyal patrons, my loyal subbies, they know, my divested diamonds know I spilled this tea months ago. I called it. I knew it was just a matter of time before she was going to get pregnant by this fool. But it really breaks my heart to see that she's confirmed this because Rihanna, she is an amazing woman. She's absolutely beautiful. She's successful. She is extremely talented. She created the soundtrack of my 20s, y'all. So I'm a millennial, and I have a special place in my heart for Rihanna. I love Take a Bow. You look so dumb right now. I was a savage too. So when she made that song, didn't they tell you I was a savage? That resonated with me in my 20s. that it's gonna have my money. I love that because I mean, I was divested before I knew the term divested. I was a savage back then. And so that was my mantra. Rihanna truly made the soundtrack of my 20s and of a lot of divested women. Now she down bad, y'all. And it breaks my heart that she's confirmed that she is pregnant by a hypergamous Dusty who ain't even her damn husband. And I think in order to understand how problematic Rihanna being pregnant now by a dusty ass rapper, we need to first discuss how problematic and how erroneous her romantic relationships were in the past. Okay? So, first off, this dysfunction and these problematic dynamics that Rihanna has experienced that have negatively impacted her life, they started from birth for her. So even Rihanna's father was a Dusty. And she is very vocal about how he was an alcoholic, he was a crackhead, he was a drug addict, and he was abusive to her mother. So let's watch this and then we will talk through.
Rihanna remembers growing up years in Barbados as being, in her words, just a little island girl riding bikes, running around barefoot, and flying kites in the cemetery. But her childhood home wasn't as free. Her father's drinking problems would lead to some extremely tense moments. She told Rolling Stone in 2011, Fridays would be scary because he would come home drunk, he'd get paid, and half of it would go toward alcohol. He'd walk in the door, and it was all eyes on him. The future pop star could feel the temperature in the house go up whenever domestic violence was around the corner. Previously telling ABC News, my parents had a very abusive relationship. My dad was the abuser. He hit her on numerous accounts. I don't want to say normal, but it wasn't a surprise when it happened. She never went to the hospital. Domestic violence is not something that people want anybody to know. Though her mother was the primary victim of her father's outbursts, Rihanna recalled one time in particular when she was punished for wanting to stay at the beach 10 minutes longer. She told Rolling Stone, he slapped me so hard, I ran home with his handprint on me. I couldn't believe it. My mother saw my face, how traumatized I was. You know how, when you know you did something wrong and you deserve to get beat? This was out of nowhere. Addiction sadly took a substantial toll on this celeb's early life when drugs planted their hooks in Rihanna's father and ran havoc through her family home. On Oprah's next chapter, she tearfully told Oprah Winfrey that her family broke up because of his addiction. According to The Mirror, her dad Ronald bought drugs even when money and food in the house were low. Rihanna admitted, even as a toddler, I learned that my mom and dad would argue when there was foil paper in the ashtray.
Ciao. So Rihanna has discussed openly about how problematic her father was and how he had a very pervasive drug addiction and how she walked in on him doing drugs and how he was abusive to her mother. And we wonder why she's had very problematic romantic relationships today. Rihanna has even discussed how previously she spent $50,000 to get her dusty ass dad help. And just like a Dusty, he's done nothing. He checked out early and has been particularly problematic throughout, these recent years. And we know Nick Nogg's are opportunists as well. And her father even created a company called Fenty Entertainment in 2017, trying to profit and come up off her name. Child. And this dumb Dusty even publicly expressed adoration for Chris Brown after he whooped her ass back in the early 2000s, y'all. So her dad was a crackhead. He was an abusive drunk. So it doesn't surprise me that Rihanna has turned into a struggle lovebird and today still is making very problematic dating decisions and is now impregnated by a dusty rapper. She's also dated an abuser, which brings us to Chris Beat 'em Down Brown, who she dated in the early 2000s. Okay, so Rihanna and Chris Brown started dating in 2005, and both stars were on top of the world. Rihanna was topping the charts back then with her first single, Upon the Replay. Chris Brown also had just released Run It, which was an incredibly popular song. I remember everybody singing that back when I was in high school. They were an it couple. They were a power couple. They looked like a good fit based off all appearances. However, Chris Brown, we know he has anger problems. And in 2009, they got into a fight and he beat her ass. So let's look at some of these pictures here. This is disgusting. This is very disturbing. So she was beaten and she was bruised. He beat her black and blue. And here's this dumb Dusty admitting to beating her ass and detailing what happened that night.
I felt like a monster.
Chris Brown is opening up about the 2009 incident with Rihanna while on their way to the Grammys.
She grabs my, and when she do that, I bite her arm, I think, as I'm driving, because I'm still trying to drive. And it's just like a petty, like, stupid fight.
Brown was found guilty of felony assault.
I remember she tried to kick me. It's like just her just being upset. But then I really hit her, like I with a closed fist, like I punched her.
Here is also Rihanna talking about what happened during the night of the fight as well.
We just fell really fast. The more in love we became, the more dangerous we became for each other, equally as dangerous, because it was a bit of an obsession, almost.
Flash forward, February 7th, 2009, the couple had attended a party for the Grammys. He was just 19, she 20.
We had a blast that night.
In the car on the way home, she says Chris is driving and she saw a text message on his cell phone from a girl and got angry.
I caught him in LA, and he wouldn't tell the truth. So I wouldn't drop it. I kept saying, I couldn't take that he kept lying to me, and he couldn't take that I wouldn't drop it, because obviously his back was up against the wall. The truth is right here in the text message. So it escalated into him being violent towards me, and it was ugly.
Shaking my damn head. So this is how dysfunctional Blackistan is. Here this woman was beaten black and blue by this fool. And that still wasn't enough for her to divest from Dusty. Seeing her father be problematic and being abusive and being a dusty drug addict wasn't enough. Being beat up, being bruised and beaten by a Dusty wasn't enough for her to divest. You know, and not only was Chris Brown an abuser, he was a cheater as well. And he's a notorious drug abuser. And he's also a notorious colorist. There's been reports about he'll tell women at clubs during his outings that he'll only allow lighter skinned girls inside his area. He even has allegations about as well, y'all.
Chris Brown speaks out after being sued for allegedly drugging and raping a woman on a yacht. In court documents obtained by E! News, the 32-year-old singer is being sued by a woman identified only as Jane Doe, who alleges that she was drugged and Brown on a yacht that was docked near Diddy's Florida home on December 30th of 2020. Amid the allegations, Brown sends a message to followers on his Instagram story calling out what he believes is a lie, saying, "I hope y'all see this pattern of cap emoji. Whenever I'm releasing music or projects, they try to pull some real bullshit." E! News reached out to Brown's manager as well as a lawyer that has previously represented him for comment but did not hear back.
A hot ass mess, y'all. And despite all of this problematic behavior, Rihanna continued to date this fool off and on, and even continued to make music with him even after he publicly beat her ass. And they didn't end up finally officially ending things until 2012, years later. But that's what the struggle love maiden does. These struggle love birds, they love them some toxic relationships. They love them some ride or die-ish. They love going through thick and thin and moving mountains to be with these Dusties. So that was just the beginning of her back-to-back struggle love relationships. So here's the crazy part, y'all. I had out hope for Rihanna because for a while it seemed like she was getting her ish together. She started to open up her options and she started to date the best man for the job. And she started to, vet men based off the content of their character, not just color. She was linked to several other groups of men. So she was linked to Leonardo DiCaprio, Ryan Philippe, she was linked to, I think I heard. But then it was like she would take 5 steps forward and then 10 steps back. Because she was also linked to Blackistan baseball player Matt Kemp. She was also linked to Drake. She dated publicly in the past. She would just regress over and over again and could never fully understand that to be happy, you need to divest. You need to divest from Blackistan, divest from the Dusties, divest from the community. Like most Black women, she's addicted to that Black love struggle love. And we saw this happen over and over and over again. And I've said this before. So side note, I think a lot of this has to do with her being a quote unquote preference. So she's famous, she's talented, she is rich, she's a freaking billionaire, for God's sake. And she also has lighter eyes and a lighter complexion. So she's not getting the same treatment as a Serena Williams or a Gabby Sidibe. She's not getting that same experience from these men. So I've noticed that it's a lot more difficult for these kinds of women to divest, because surface level, they're getting this preferential treatment and they're getting pedestalized by these fools. But when you dig a little bit deeper, we see that only goes so far, because Chris still cheated. He still beat her ass. He still is a womanizer. He still didn't commit. And that's how these men roll, even with
Shout out to my exes.
Hey, y'all. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Women Exodus. If you didn't know already, Black women are beautiful. Black women are intelligent and incredible. Black women are phenomenal and make great wives and mothers.
I want to speak to your manager.
Black women should be respected and deserve to be loved.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Black women deserve to be treated like human beings, at least. Listen, guys, if you're like me, you are so tired of your favorite Black female content creators getting harassed by the trolls, silenced on social media, and censored by YouTube. We work so hard to stand up for Black women, and although YouTube allows us to be regularly berated, ridiculed, and degraded by Dusties every day on the platform, as soon as we say one word to clap back, we're threatened with channel violations and are told to be silent or we will have our platforms removed. The biased algorithms, inconsistently enforced policies, and persistent trolling on YouTube is unacceptable and needs to stop. If you agree, meet me over on my Patreon, where you will be able to access completely raw, unfiltered, exclusive Lexus Exodus content. You will be able to access uncut, uncensored, and ad-free content, 2 bonus videos a week, access to the private Discord community, and much, much more. So meet me over on the Patreon at patreon.com/LexusExodus. The link is also in the description below.
Shout out to my exes.
So anywho, in 2017, Rihanna seemed to get it together. She seemed to get it right, and she dated a Saudi Arabian businessman, billionaire named Hassan Jamel. So let's watch this.
Not long ago, we told you about the serious plans that Rihanna had with her billionaire boyfriend. The future of their very private relationship looked bright, and it seemed that keeping their romance away from the public eye was what made it thrive. But it turns out that this still wasn't enough for them to last, and after almost 3 years together, they're over. Was Hassan tired of waiting for that album? Why did they split up? We really hadn't seen much of Rihanna and her man when they were together. How many of you didn't even know that Riri was dating someone? According to insiders, the couple was proof that opposites attract. Rihanna and Hassan were both very different, but this is what worked for them. They understood each other very well, and even though they had different personalities, they fit together and had many things in common. The singer almost never mentioned her man in interviews, but it seemed like they were happy and he had a good influence on her. On one of the very rare occasions when she mentioned her love life, when she talked to Interview magazine, Rihanna admitted that she, of course, was in love. And while promoting Ocean's 8 in 2018, she kinda confirmed that she was in a relationship. When Sarah Paulson asked if she was dating someone, Rihanna answered in her typical sassy style, "Google it." In that same Ocean's 8 promo interview, Rihanna revealed that she wanted to be a mother more than anything in life. Sometime later, she was also asked about it by the Vogue editor Anna Wintour. Riri was really surprised by that question, but said that she wasn't thinking about stuff like that, but everything was God's plan. And when asked if she had plans to marry Jamil, the singer replied that only God knew that. So I guess this was her way of dodging the questions. And while they clearly had no wedding plans, it seemed that Hassan inspired Rihanna to make time for romance and for herself. In the Vogue interview in 2018, she admitted that she had trouble prioritizing herself over her business and music career, and she used to feel guilty about taking time off for herself.
This man was fine, y'all. He was handsome, he was rich, he was wealthy, he had prestige, he had notoriety, he was loaded, he was her equal. He was one of the richest men in his country, y'all. He had a net worth of $1.5 billion. And we know Rihanna is worth $1 billion. So there you go. You know, they were equally yoked. And they reportedly dated seriously for years. It seemed to me like they were going to get married. And during that time, Rihanna's superstar risen. She got into the beauty and makeup and fashion industry. She has her lingerie brand. She has her makeup brand. And she really bossed up during this time and became a mogul. You know, so again, she's worth $1 billion. So it made so much sense that they would link together. As a billionaire, yeah, you should be dating another billionaire. You know, so by all appearances, it seemed like their relationship was going well and that Riri had finally left that struggle love relationship dynamic behind. But then suddenly in 2020, they broke up. And my heart broke. My heart broke because I knew that was going to be her husband, and I knew she was just going to live her best divested life, like Eve, who's also married to her billionaire after dating out. And they were really tight-lipped about what happened, but the blog speculated about what occurred during their relationship and what caused their breakup. So Rihanna says she wanted to be a mother more than life, y'all. That's a recipe for disaster. And I called that she was going to become impregnated by her Dusty. If you're in the Patreon, you know that I predicted this months ago. I think back in like September, I talked about this. Because what happens is Black women will make all these amazing and incredible strides and accomplishments. And we'll date all these Dusties. And we'll get older and we'll age. Brianna's in her 30s. She's the same age as me, I believe. And we'll start to feel like our biological clock is ticking and our standards start to lower because there's not much to pick from in the community if you're extremely race loyal. So now Rihanna is a dusty baby mama. Anyway, I don't want to get too far ahead. Let's talk about her ex-billionaire. So I don't know what the hell happened. There were rumors floating around the industry and in the blogs. There were lots of speculation, but Rihanna has been so silent about what happened with this relationship with the Saudi Arabian billionaire. They both have been silent, but what it sounds like to me is Blackistan's struggle love had a pull on poor Riri, y'all. You know, we become addicted to struggle love and addicted to toxicity and problematic relationships. So she talks about struggling with having a better work-life balance. Rihanna is an alpha, y'all. She's an alpha. So she's used to being the provider. Y'all know she has this tough, bad girl persona, this rough and tough image. So it probably was a very tough transition to be in a relationship with someone who is a real alpha. You know, it's a lot easier to date beta dusties when you know you're alpha and when you are wealthy and when you're intelligent and beautiful and bring all these dynamics to the table. It's difficult to date someone who matches that. and the Saudi Arabian culture, from what I understand, is very conservative, and he was also a billionaire too. So, and I see a lot of Black women who struggle with this. When you're used to being the man in the relationship, when you're used to wearing the pants and the panties, when you're used to being ambitious and working hard, doing everything on your own because you have to, it's a different thing when you meet a real man. And I'm sure she struggled with that. I really do think that's what happened here. I struggle with it too personally in my everyday life. I think that with her, there was a power struggle because Rihanna wasn't accustomed to being able to relax and being able to rest in her femininity and letting a real alpha man take the lead. So then they broke up, and fast forward to today. She's now confirmed that she is pregnant by Dusty struggle rapper A$AP Rocky. Y'all. And this man is so damn ugly. He's so ugly. He's hideous. He's hideous. He has a struggle braids. Phenotypically, he's just not an attractive man. Objectively, I think we can all agree he is unattractive. But here's my thing. If you're going to get pregnant by a Dusty, at least get something decent to look at. This man is objectively unattractive by most people's standards, regardless of race. He has a struggle face. He has struggle braids. He has a struggle career. And now her child will have those phenotypically unattractive attributes as well. Y'all. And I just don't understand this, y'all. I don't. For the life of me, I cannot comprehend how Rihanna ended up in this situation. So she would have been better off getting a sperm donor. She talked about how she wants to be a mother more than life. Get a sperm donor, girl. You got the resources. Freeze your eggs and wait until you meet the right person. But yeah, it's like she wanted to be a mom so bad. She got impregnated and knocked up by this Dusty who ain't even her husband. According to Forbes, his net worth is $10 million. Meanwhile, Rihanna is a whole damn billionaire, y'all. So we know she's a makeup mogul. She's a media mogul. She's a music mogul. She doesn't have to even make music anymore because she's so well off. But here she is, pregnant and knocked up by this Dusty who didn't even put a ring on it. This is your struggle love maiden, y'all. This is your typical struggle love, Blackistan struggle love maiden. And it breaks my heart to drag Rihanna in this manner, but I have to because this is some bullish. A$AP Rocky is basura. He's basura. He is trash. And, I challenge you guys, when's the last time y'all heard an A$AP Rocky song? Seriously. The only one I can think of is the one that goes like, I love bad problem. And yeah, I got a problem. That's the only one I can name. And seriously, y'all, I challenge y'all to name 5 A$AP Rocky songs in the chat. And I swear I'll cash up y'all $50. I don't think you can, though, because he's a struggle rapper. He's hideous. He's ugly. He has struggle braids. He's broke. He's a broke bum. He's also a colorist. So remember when he had an interview and remarked how dark-skinned girls can't wear red lipsticks? Y'all, I can't with this. Why do we do this, Black women? My heart is breaking for Rihanna. City girls down bad, y'all. Black women are down bad. The mammies are down bad, y'all. This is an L. It's crazy, though, because these celebrity women will have access to the most powerful, wealthiest, richest, most handsome men in the world, but still, we gotta get a Dusty. We gotta get a Dusty. That's how strong of a hold the BBC has on us. It's like crack or something at this point. We just can't kick the habit. And I've talked about this in my Discord today. Shout out to my patron. You guys know that I discussed this. I don't know if we're under some type of spell. Is this something esoterically happening or something? Is there a supernatural aspect happening or something? Because I can't explain why else ish like this would be happening daily. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. Like someone must have did some hoodoo or some juju on Black women way back when. Because how do you go from a handsome Saudi Arabian billionaire to a one-hit wonder struggle Dusty rapper? How? How, Sway? How? What was the reason? And here's the thing, Rihanna, don't think for 1 second this rapper doesn't understand that you are way out of his league. Because we know Dusties are masters at being hypergamous. They've mastered the idea of dating strategically much more than Black women, you know? So now this fool, he done knocked up Rihanna. So now he's a rich, well taken care of baby mama. You know, Dusties are the biggest hypergamous. He's seeing dollar signs right now. And mark my words, I want y'all to remember this date, January 31st, 2022. Just like I predicted way back then that she was going to get pregnant by this fool, she's also going to get Holly buried by this bum. Okay? She's going to get Mary J. Blige and Sherry Shepherd by this bum. She's going to be paying this fool child support and alimony while he kick up his feet and collect those coins like a pretty, pretty princess. Mark my words. Okay? And so all I can say in summation, y'all, is please take this as a lesson, Black women. Please, please do. Smart people learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from the mistakes of others. This is not it. This is not it. You know, and I hear it every day. You guys will tell me, oh, you know, I'm too intimidated by cultural differences. I'm too apprehensive to be receptive to other groups of men's advances. I had one girl can say in my comment section how she rejected a dentist for a Dusty. Now he's happily married and the Dusty then ruined her life. Y'all do better. Do better. Learn from Rihanna's mistakes. You know, y'all so desperate. Y'all so desperate to be wives and mothers that you make problematic, erroneous decisions like this. And this is not okay. Rihanna is ruining her life. Getting pregnant by a Dusty is a surefire way to ruin your life. And it's like, Rihanna, you done dated a Saudi billionaire. This man is one of the wealthiest men in the world, and he's fine as F. And you let that go for this damn Dusty. So Rihanna done signed up for a dusty life full of struggle, adversity, and misery. If she only had divested, y'all. Learn from her mistakes. Do better, y'all. All right. Until next time. See you guys. Bye.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.